Hi everyone, my name's Lauren and I'm the Communications and Marketing Manager at Petals, and I'm here today with Jacqui and Flora, two of our wonderful counselling managers, and we're just going to have a bit of a chat about some tips for managing in that initial period after you've suffered a loss, and just hopefully bring you a bit of comfort and some tips and tools to help you get through that initial traumatic period. Hi, Flora. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I wonder if there's something that you'd sort of like to say as an introduction to people that are struggling in that the initial sort of shock and aftermath of baby loss.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I would like to say is just to encourage any of you who are listening and have experienced the loss of a baby, just to allow yourselves to be how you are feeling. There can often be a pressure from within and from people around to sort of recover too quickly or feel the pressure of needing to recover too quickly. And it takes time. It takes time, and it's really important to give yourself permission to just be how you need to be in those days, in the early days, and not try and push yourself too quickly, too fast, and try and explain how you are and what you need to the people around you, because everyone is well, most people are well-meaning in their desire to support you. I'm really talking to mums here, in their desire to support you, but actually people don't cope very well with the people that they love not being okay. And so there can be a real sort of pressure to be okay when you're not okay. So there, it's just recognizing to yourself that you're not okay and trying to explain that to the people around you, and giving yourself permission to not do the social things that feel too difficult to do, not do, you know, if there's pressure to go back to work and you don't feel ready to do that, to explain that to work, just giving yourself grace in those moments. And for the dads, you know, you might be feeling similarly, you might need to take time out and not do things, but generally men find it easier to sort of compartmentalize things a little bit. And actually it can be really difficult for a dad when their partner is really not okay. So just don't panic. Your partner is most likely to start feeling better before too long, but it really takes time. And just walk with them. Just walk with them and allow them to be how they need to be.
Jacqui, what about you? Can you sort of relate to what Flora's saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's important to keep reminding yourself that you've had, you know, a stressful situation happen. And I think that all your feelings, you know, they are normal in what has happened. And to give yourself permission to be in that place, as Laura says, to, you know, to do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, because your life has been disrupted. And so, you know, it's difficult to be in that place. Really, really difficult to be in that place. And so it's reminding yourself that it's okay. It's okay to feel how you feel.
And that what you're feeling isn't unusual or wrong in any way.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. And is there something more around that? Because when you're feeling those feelings, which are incredibly normal, but it can be really draining on you physically and energy-wise, what that looks like for people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the energy pot is reduced, and so you're not going to have as much energy as you did before. And so it's using that wisely, not doing too much too soon, and just doing what your energy tells you you can do. And if you feel tired, to rest. Don't carry on. To not worry about what battles you're fighting. Just rest if you need to.
And it can feel like an incredibly lonely place to be in. What would you say to someone who is feeling incredibly alone at that time?
To reach out if they can, to reach out to family and friends, to people they know can help them, to people that can care for them and nurture them. If they're really feeling really sad, go and talk to your GP. Always feel that there is something there for you. The Samaritans, is a crisis point there for you that you can go to, that are there 24 hours a day. So reach out to somebody that you can talk to in a safe space.
Yeah. And when you do sort of start making your way through those initial weeks after the loss, and you do perhaps find yourself going back into social situations, whatever that might be, even just walking down the high street or going to the shop, can be an incredibly anxious time as you sort of make your way back into that slice of normal life. Flora, what would you suggest to people that might help going back into that situation?
Well, first of all, just to add to what Jacqui just said, I just think that, grief is a lonely journey. It's even you have a different experience to your partner, and there is sort of there is an experience of loneliness. But absolutely what Jacqui said about reaching out, because people around you they can't read your mind. They don't really know what you need. They don't really know what to say. People are very worried about getting it wrong. So yeah, expressing what you need, asking people to help you is really, really important. And on that, as you're gradually getting to the point of thinking, okay, I'll go to the shop or I'll do this, I think that what can be quite helpful is to have some lines prepared, a script prepared, so that, because there's a lot of anxiety about what happens if I meet someone in the street and they ask me how my baby is. And so you can think, okay, well, if that happens and it's someone I don't know very well, I will say this, for example, really devastatingly, our baby died, but actually I don't really want to talk about it at the moment, or something. So you're acknowledging what's happened, but you're closing it down. You're not inviting people to ask you anything, if that's what you want. Depends what you want. And then that sort of when preparing to go back to work or other scenarios, you can again think, okay, what would I say to this work colleague who I know a bit better? Or you can just have things prepared so that you're not, and that can reduce the anxiety of that potential encounter.
Just specifically thinking about that returning to work, is there something around people telling their colleagues what they need, that sort of establishing that boundary of what they want to and don't want to talk about? Because it's probably quite different for everyone, isn't it, what they're happy to or not discuss?
Yeah. Well, I encourage people to talk to their managers and to have a think about, is there anything that they'd like their colleagues to know that they don't want to tell them? So it might be that they'd like their managers to send an email to whoever it is, whoever's important in the team, or who they'll have contact with, just to say, this is what's happened. This person would like to be asked how they are, or they would prefer not to be asked how they are, or they would be very happy to go and talk about it out of work, but don't want talk about it in work, or, you know, whatever. As you say, people have different needs, but just so, again, so you can prepare the ground and make it less anxiety provoking and challenging to have those encounters. And as I said before, just don't push yourself too quickly to have those encounters. The social things, you just don't need to do them for a while. To only do something that isn't going to be too draining and isn't going to be too even damaging, because it's using up too much energy, too much strength, and too many difficult interactions. Pregnant people, babies, you know, that just probably just feels too difficult initially to do that.
Yeah. Jacqui, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Flora. A bit of planning there and preparing, you know, always helps people to feel a little bit more confident. Another thing, you know, perhaps to add to that is exit plans. Having a think about how you can get away from a situation or a difficult situation quickly beforehand. So for example, when someone sort of starts to talk to you and you feel yourself getting a little bit nervous and you're worried about bursting into tears or something like that, you could quickly sort of touch your pocket and say, oh, excuse me, that's my phone, I need to take this. So you get yourself out of the situation quite quickly, and with something that is quite a normal sort of response to people. Oh, I'm just getting this call, excuse me a minute, I'll get back to you. Or for example, just saying, oh, I need the loo, or excuse me, I just need to get a drink. So you're saying things like that which people won't question. And I think it all helps social situations, whether going back to work, whether being in Tesco's, whether being with friends, you know, it helps you to feel that you have some control over it.
I'm just wondering, is there also sort of giving yourself permission that you don't have to, you're not, you don't have to share the entirety of your story or your baby with anyone that asks. You're not doing a disservice to your baby by not speaking about them. You're holding a boundary that is safe for you and choosing who you do and don't share that with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think it's okay to say to somebody, thank you for asking, you know, about my baby, but I can't really talk about it right now. It's too painful. I think it's okay to say that to somebody, you know.
Flora, if you know, if you are coming back into those social situations, even sometimes with these tools and, you know, thinking about all this stuff that we've spoken about, you can still feel incredibly anxious, sort of physically in your body. And have you got any kind of tips or tools for people to use just to find a bit of calm in those scarier moments?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as Jacqui says, it might just be good to exit. That might be the best thing, not to try and push through, not to think, well, I've just got to do this because it's my friend's birthday party and she'll be sad if I leave. Actually, you're the priority in that moment, so you might need to leave. There are some moments where it might be difficult to leave, and it might be just good to go to the toilet and just do some shaking or do some star jumps or run up and down the stairs, just to do a little bit of activity which can reduce the levels of adrenaline and cortisol that are pumping through your body at that moment, making you feel very anxious and nervous. So just a little bit of movement can be really helpful. Doing something that sort of focuses on the present, so even just scrunching up a piece of paper and throwing it up and down in the air to yourself, that can just help you just to focus and come back into this present moment. And that can help you think, okay, what do I need to do in this present moment? What do I need to do to help myself right now? And even having some songs on your phone that you can listen to, just something that a song that lifts your spirits, a song that you love, that you can listen to, even if you could sing along to it, if no one else is around, or even if people are around. because that can also just calm that can help you breathe well, can help you, that can help your body feel a bit calmer, a bit more present in the moment, and then you can work out what you need to do.
That's brilliant, thank you. Jacqui, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think, yeah, exactly what Flora's saying, you know, sort of shifting your mind a little bit over to something that you can focus on, you know, can help you, again, help you to feel confident, because just changing your mindset a little bit, all those things change your mindset and take you into a different place. And so that helps you to feel, you know, more confident and to bring yourself back into the present moment.
Flora, is there anything else you think might be useful to share with people?
Yeah, just the struggle that everyone I speak to has about other people who are pregnant or having babies, and people who they love and are connected to. Actually, for most women who've lost a baby, it feels intolerable for them to be connected to those people for a while, and that's a source of great sadness for them and for the other people. And I think that it isn't that you've become a terrible person and you're not going to feel like that forever, but it is just that your pain is too much. It's too much to be reminded of what you don't have. So again, I think just really have grace towards yourself and don't push yourself to see those babies. You don't need to see those babies. If you can explain what you're feeling, then that's helpful for the other person, but you may not even be able to do that. Maybe your partner can help you with that, but just to allow yourself to try and avoid for a little while if you need to. There will get to the point where it feels a little bit easier, and maybe you can sort of see that person or meet that baby, but just, again, it's really, really tough. It's really normal to feel like that. Don't be hard on yourself and don't push yourself too much too early.
I think that kind of sums up everything that we've been talking about really well. It's all normal. And yeah, to take care of yourself. Flora and Jacqui, thank you so much for sharing the really useful conversation. I hope everyone finds it useful, and hopefully we'll have some more of these conversations in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you.